Hey, what's up everybody? This is Mark Brown from Pocket Gamer, and I didn't play the first Oscura game. Oscura? Not sure. Didn't play it. It's a platformer that came out a few years back on iOS, and I missed it. But anyway, here's the sequel, Oscura Second Shadow, and I'm glad I haven't missed this one because it's quite good fun. It's a platformer with very much based on physics and things having kind of real weight to them, and you are this little sort of impish guy with a flame wandering around. I'm sure there's some kind of story that I completely ignored. There was that bit at the beginning, didn't read it. And he can jump and double jump, and he collects these little white things, and when he does that you can press the button down in the bottom right hand corner to slow down time. Not your character's time, but the world around you. Kind of useful. Not really for solving puzzles so much. There are a few puzzles in the game that I've come across so far that have actually been about slowing down time to help you. But for the most part, it's just a way to deal with some of the more tricky platforming challenges and some of the tougher enemies. Is you can just jab on that button, slow down time for a bit, and help yourself out. There are these gears hidden around in the stages, and there's another one down there. There are 4 on each level, and there are just some of the things you can do to boost your number of stars you collect in each level. It's, you know, one of them games. This one's got 4 stars, not 3. That's new. I died. And the only thing I really know about the first Oscura is that it had kind of crap controls. Trying to go for some kind of gesture-based thing that didn't really work out for the game. That was the game doing that. I just realised, not my computer. I'm stopping. Yes, the controls apparently in Oscura 1 were not particularly great, but these ones work very well. You know, you've got now proper physical, not physical, definitely not physical, the complete opposite of physical, virtual buttons, but they're nice, they work, they're in the right place, they work well. The game in general kind of feels a little bit sort of floaty, a little bit sort of Little Big Planet-esque, but I always kind of feel that works quite well for iOS because the controls are always a bit kind of mushy and not, whoa, super precise as it is. So it kind of works in an iOS game's favour to be a little bit more forgiving and whatnot. This boulder was very difficult, and then I fell in the lava and died. There we go. But we'll try it again, and this time I'm going to use, I think, oh, what am I doing? I'm going to try and use some of my slowdown powers to help out. So once I get started rolling, we're going to slow down time, so it just makes things a little bit easier, but you have a very limited supply, so you can't really just kind of spam it. You know, you're not going to find any puzzles that are kind of like sort of, well, I thought I might kill that enemy, braid style puzzles, you know, in terms of the time manipulation. It's not so much for that, it's just to help you out. So the art style is definitely worth some discussion. I'm just going to go in here again and just check, see if you, once you get the gear, do you get it for good? Yes, you do. You don't have to go back because I hit a checkpoint. What was I going to say? Yes, the graphics are pretty damn nice. Basically, they've gone for the Badland idea, which was you take Limbo with its you know, very striking silhouette graphics, black and white silhouette graphics, but instead of having this sort of gloomy grey backdrop, you have a bold, vibrant colours in the backdrop. So we've got greens and reds, and here we've got a nice mauve, maybe not the most vibrant colour in the world, but nice. And it looks good, and so you can just sort of whack these boxes about, and you've also got that flame that's sort of constantly trailing around you, trying to get that gear and failing miserably. Yeah, but it is a nice looking game. You've got stuff in the foreground and background and get killed by enemies. And Oscura, Second Shadow, running out of things to say about this game. Made by a company called Chocolate Liberation Front or something like that, something weird. So you've got your 4-star scoring system. You get stars for how many of those things you found, how many gears you found, how much time you took, and how many times you died. So I was too slow, and I died a lot, so I only got 2 stars. So now we're onto a very red level. and definitely looks good. Here is a bit where I died over and over and over again. So to save your frustration, I will speed it up. I hit the enemy again, then I hit it again, and then I fell in the spikes, and then I think I made it this time. No, died again. There we go, got it. So yeah, tricky bit. Was that the controls fault? Was it my fault? Not entirely sure. Maybe a little bit of both. Like I was saying, with the Little Big Planet comparison, the whole thing does feel just a little bit sort of imprecise and a little bit sort of floaty, which makes it a little bit tricky to do some of the more difficult platforming sections. Like here, for example, we get this like box and it's got the physics and stuff, and I died, and it's not very handy. But for the most part, the physics feel good, and it feels like the levels have a bit more sort of presence and weight to them, where those boxes can fall down and you can get boxes trapped in these mechanisms and stuff. Let's try not to get squished in there this time. Boing! So these like things take you into these sort of special areas where you don't really have to go in them, but you can find extra gears, which are always nice. I don't think they do anything. This game's got 20 levels. That's a stat for you there. That's a fact. It's a number. That's what games journalism is all about, is numbers. I fell down again. Using up all my magic powers. Yeah, 20 levels seemed a bit short. I'm kind of going through these pretty damn quickly. I sort of was just having a go with this game. Whoops. And got through like 6 or 7 levels in a few minutes of just sort of checking out what it's all about. No idea what the price is. We'll have all that sort of information on pocketgamer.co.uk. I'm sure we'll have a full review at some point too. 2 stars. That's chapter 3. So the levels are reasonably short. This is not the last level that we're going to show you. So let's get this gear. Watch out for these big bouncy enemies. Get some of my time manipulation juice. Push this box. Use it to get that shard. So you need the shards to get like a high score, but you also need them for your time manipulation thing. So generally good things to get. Another. Whoops! Don't want to knock down that box. There we go. Get another gear. The whole it's just the whole thing kind of feels like you can kind of being able to jump in midair is obviously something that's been in video games for a very long time, but it still just sort of makes it feel a little bit. I don't want to say floaty again. That's kind of the word. It's kind of the right word. There's a monster in there. We're kind of luring him out and using the time slow down to not get killed. Quick run away, run away, run away. There we go. Got these sort of horrible monsters. Very sort of dark, gothic feel. Developer said it's going for a sort of Tim Burton thing, which is fair enough. These things that are sort of flying in the air are very useful for using your time slowdown ability on. Let's go in this thingy-majig here. Yeah, trying to. There we go, get on this swing. But I'm too legit to quit, so we don't need to use that. And there's the end of the level, and that was a short one. Chapter 4 done. Gosh, I recorded way too many levels because I've completely run out of things to say about this game. And it's not to say it's bad. I definitely enjoyed what I played. The, controls feel good. The game a little bit frustrating at times, but generally feels just nice and fun and responsive to get through, even though I said before it's kind of unresponsive. You know what I mean? No, me neither. This is a tricky bit. Got these things going around in circles, sort of merry-go-round type thing, but I ran out of slowdown juice and fell. Dun, 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 dun. Up we go into the Ferris wheel. I put a bit of slowdown time on, jump over, turn it back off again. Handy, but then we ran out. Oops. Oh, there's a gear at least. That's one good thing about falling off to your death, is I found a gear. Not to my death. Jump over. Run out of slowdown juice now, so we kind of have to make these jumps myself. Oh god. All good. It's all good. Oh god. It's all good. This thing's going to fall, I get the gear and I jump off. Kind of Donkey Kong Country-esque? Don't know, just that bit there. There's like bits in Donkey Kong Country we have that where you have to sort of fall to your death and then jump off at the last minute. But you know, it kind of reminds me of pretty much any of the major platformers. Bit of Rayman in there, bit of Mario. But it's just nice, it is nice to have a platformer on iOS that actually is just a platformer, a good platformer. It's not trying to be an endless run or anything. It's not trying too hard to be specifically a mobile platformer. It's just a fun little platformer, but it feels good on the phone. I missed falling in that. Okay. Fire. Block. Push this block down, land in the fire. Nothing too tricky in this game so far. For our full review, we'll obviously play a whole lot more of it and see if it gets a little bit more complicated, the puzzles, or more difficult. Here's another bit where I died over and over again. So we got this big old monster. Big old monster. Looks like a Mr. Potato Head, but very tall. And this guy killed me, and then blah. So let's speed this up again because I died about 100 times. So we jump over this guy, then we land on his head, and then we jump over this guy, and then we get this, and then he kills me again, and then I jump over this guy, and oh, that's okay, I got it. That wasn't too bad. Well, I'm kind of flailing around like an idiot, but I got there in the end. And into the exit we go. And I think this is probably about where we should leave it off. I think you've kind of got the idea by now. This is Oscura, or Oscura, or something. Second Shadow, a fun, physics-heavy platformer for iOS, just iOS, that's out tomorrow. We definitely like the first game. I think we gave it a silver award. This sequel is shaping up to be possibly even better. Gold award though? Not quite up to that sort of standard, I'd say. I'm not reviewing it, I don't know. I'll leave it to whoever's reviewing it to make that decision. But anyway, from Mark Brown, Pocket Gamer, this is Oscura Second Shadow. Goodbye.